Just in time for Valentine's Day, I'm going to show you how to make bread and butter pudding, Belizean style. You're watching The Bear Pantry Show. So these are the ingredients right here, guys, that we're going to need to make this bread and butter pudding. 3 cans of evap milk, 3 cans of condensed. I'm not naming any brands because any brand will do for this. We've got 5 eggs, butter, of course, in this thing right here because we're going to butter the bread. And I've got some plain old white bread. And it doesn't have to be stale bread. You know, no rules about the bread. Just plain old white bread. Don't use the wheat ones and the multigrain and stuff. It won't come out good. And of course, we have lemon extract. This is the secret ingredient, okay? A lot of people think when you're baking stuff, everything's vanilla. But vanilla is not the cure-all to when you're baking, all right? Sometimes you can trick the palate if you change it out to lemon or pineapple or just something else so unique that's not vanilla. So let me get started. I'm going to get my bread open. This is one of these heart warmers for me because my grandma, my grandmother on my mom's side, she had a stroke when I was first born, and then she had another one when I was 12. And so she was disabled on her left side. She wasn't 100% disabled because she took a lot of therapy, but she still didn't have good use of her left arm like she did with her right. So the reason I'm sharing the story with you, of course, is because I have a story about this in my book. I'm not sure if you guys are aware that my cookbook is not just a cookbook. I have a lot of interesting tidbits in there, and I have unique little heartwarming stories about my mom's side of the family. And I'm in the kitchen today, and I'm doing this on a Saturday because I want to put the video up on Tuesday before Valentine's so you guys can have time to get the ingredients and make this if this is what you want to do. But I'm just remembering her so vividly because as messy as you want this recipe to be, it will still come out good. As a matter of fact, I think the more messy it is, the nicer it is. So I got my bread open, and I'm showing you that it's only going to be 6 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 slices of bread that's going to make this whole bread pudding. And let me show you how big this bread pudding is going to be. We're doing it in this dish right here. I know the camera is too close up, I'll zoom out. But I'll show you in the end. This is a pretty good sized dish, 9 by 13. So the first thing that you want to do, see, is get your milk and stuff open. I like these pop things right here because they're so easy to open without a can opener, right? And by the way, remember when I did the boiled milk, I told you guys not to boil the one with that pop tab? Well, my aunt tried it and it didn't cause any problem. So we're changing that little note right there. So this is my condensed milk. Just open all the milks. And what I'm going to do with the milks is go ahead and pour it all in this big bowl. That's my oven telling me that it's ready. First of all, I want you guys to see that I cracked my 5 eggs. I took out all the little eyes or the nasty parts. And I just whipped it up here with this whisk. And so now all I'm going to be doing, let me get this out of here till we're ready for this. And by the way, the oven is preheated on 350 degrees Fahrenheit because we're going to bake this for like 1 hour and 20 minutes. I think the bread and butter pudding goes a little bit longer than the regular bread pudding, but we'll see. But so far, 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'll let you know if that changes. So this is all I'm doing is pouring all the milk in. That's the evap milk, evaporated milk. And I do realize that some people don't know what evaporated milk is. They think it's milk that has been evaporated into thin air. So anyways, that's how it looks, okay? It's just liquid milk and they take something out of it. I don't know why it's called evaporated. And here I am adding the condensed, and I'm using just a spatula right here to just get every little bit of the condensed milk out of the can, okay? So let me get the other 2 cans added into our mixture. Okay, I love, love, love bread pudding. I think these are one of the things you can really poison me with. I like bread pudding even if it's not my own. I will eat anybody's bread pudding, any culture. I don't really care. As long as it's bread pudding, I'm eating it. That's how much I love it. So we just want to get this really worked in well. We don't want anything to be separating from anything. And I didn't tend to the bread yet because that's going to be so cool. You're going to see what I'm going to do to the bread. So I'm going to mix that up again when I'm ready to pour it in on the bread. But let me go ahead and put a little bit of the lemon extract. And this, you know, I measure everything usually, but this you just want to put a little bit. Just a little bit. Ooh, that smells pretty good. So let me get this out of the way for right now because I want to show you what we're going to be doing with the bread. So here's the 6 slices of bread, right? Let me get a knife. So all you want to do is cut it diagonally like that, and don't cut off the backs, all right? Just diagonally like that. So you're going to get a whole set of triangles. So then what we do here, I'm going to set it up right now before we butter it, all right? This is what we're going to be doing. Just stacking them. In the book, I say like in a domino formation because I didn't know how else to describe that. You know, when I was writing that cookbook, it was pretty hard because you want to use all these different type of languages, and my publisher says, just go ahead and use the language that you know. So you want to set it in there. Don't worry that we have space because we're going to spread it out, right? So just set it in there like that. 6 slices of bread. That's all this bread pudding is going to use, all right? This is how we want to do it. So, and of course you can cut the bread the next way and lay it stacked the other way. I just do it like this because it's so neat. And it gave me and my grandma something to play around with when we did that. So this is how it's going to be stacked, but of course now we have to butter it. And this is where I told you it was fun with my grandma because she had that left arm that was kind of not in order, so to speak, and so she would get it all messy when she tried to butter it, but that's okay because if you get this messy, it's not going to spoil anything. You want to butter both sides, and see, you're going to have to get your hands messy. And this is basically what we're going to do for all the slices. Lavishly butter all the sides and stack them back in the 9x13 baking ware, okay? So let me go ahead and get this all buttered. When I come back, I'm going to show you the next phase of making our bread and butter pudding. Okay, see? Look how messy my hands are. That was the fun part when I was young. I don't know why kids like to just be messy, but it's a cool thing, right? And I'm not a kid anymore, but I miss my grandmother. She died when I was 20 years old, and I'm 46 now. She's been dead for some time. So, but anyways, this is how we want to lay it. And like I said, you could cut it a different design if you want to and just lay it in there. And now I'm going to get my hands cleaned up because we're going to go to the adding of the batter part. Okay, so all I have is like a measuring cup, and we don't really need to measure anything. I just need the handle. So you can use a coffee mug if that's all you have to use, okay? And what I'm going to do right here is just pour very slowly, a little bit at a time. We're going to be pouring, what do you want to call this? I think this is not really a batter. It's like a milk solution. We're just going to pour it over the bread. The reason that I'm not just like dashing it onto the bread and making it pour fast is because I don't want the bread to start floating up to the top, which it will do anyways. So on this one, you're going to want to let this set for a little while before you bake it. So I'm going to get another dose because we're going to use all this liquid, all right? All right, you guys, just a little bit of patience. And you know what? Some people put nutmeg in their puddings too. You know why I don't put nutmeg. I'm allergic to nutmeg, and when I found out that I was allergic to nutmeg, man, my life got better because I didn't even know what was wrong with me. I would eat nutmeg and stuff and I would get devastating pain, doubling over like kidney stones pain. So I'm not really even sure if that's an allergic reaction. I think it might be an adverse reaction because allergic reaction, you'd get hives and stuff, right? But anyways, we're almost done. See, it's floating to the top. Now I think we have enough that I can just kind of pour it all out of this thing, and oh my God, this looks so thick and rich. I am sure, for 100% sure, this will cause diabetes. Especially if you don't, when you eat a piece of this, please slow it down with some protein. I don't want you guys to get sick, okay? But this is the way we Belizeans make our bread pudding, and I'm gonna squeeze every ounce of juice that I can get out of it. And the bread has all floated to the top, and I want it to sit here. I'm going to sit it here for at least 20 minutes to a half hour to let it get absorbed in there, let the bread soak up the liquid before I put it in the oven, okay? And in the meantime, the oven is already preheated to 350. And let me show you guys something. I didn't put raisins in the beginning, in the opening, when I told you guys the ingredients that we're going to need. And I left it out purposely because I want you to know that this is totally optional. Raisins are not something that my kids like. They'll eat it alone, but they won't eat it and stuff. And so that's why I didn't put it up front in this, but I like raisins. They're not going to be eating this anyways. Probably going to have to go visit my neighbor Anne Marie so she can get some bread pudding, or I'll take this to the church that Jada's little friend's mom runs, Leah's Church, and we'll share it in the morning or something. Or I'll call my little viewer that I met recently through the show and offer them some. Let's share, right? Like I always tell you guys, don't eat this stuff all alone because you're going to get fat and you're going to get sick. So here we go. Just some raisins on the top. I'm going to sit it here for about 20 to 30 minutes. Then I'm going to put it in the oven. When I come back, it's going to be like an hour in the oven already baking because I want to show you guys how it's going to swell. Because after it comes out, it will diminish. And somebody had asked me about that. But it does swell while it's baking, and I want you to see that. So I'll be back in about an hour and a half when it's actually in the oven and it's to that swell, beautiful point. Okay, so it's right at an hour. And see, it's baking really, really nice. See how it's swollen? Look how high it is on the top here, right? So I'm taking this barbecue skewer, and it has breathing holes anyway, but I'm just poking a hole in there to make sure. And I'll do that, and I'll do that. And the only reason I do that is because if any milk was kind of trapped on the bottom, it'll come up on the top. So basically, I'm going to make it go another 20 minutes or so. Then at the end, I'll tell you how long it really took to bake this bread pudding, okay? But it's smelling good in here, and it's one of these bleaky, ugly, cold days in California right now. So it's smelling good. I can't wait to get into this. It went for 1 hour and 20 minutes, and it'll be according to your oven and how hot it cooks, okay? See how brown it looks? I'm going to zoom in so you can see. But see how swollen it is? It's all the way to the top there. And after I let it sit there and cool for a while, it's going to deflate or go down for a little bit, okay? So let me zoom in so you guys can see how brown it is. See our raisins? So I'll be back to cut the first slice after it cools down. So it's been about 20 minutes. It's not really all the way cool yet, but I want to cut into this. See how, and you know, some people put like a rum sauce on top of this, but these people will pour like a little bit of condensed milk to drizzle on it, but you know we don't need any more of that condensed milk in here. So let me try to cut a piece out. So I'm just cutting it on all sides. So crispy on the top. I love bread pudding when it's crispy on the top. So look at my little spatula. Special for bread pudding, okay? Let me get this piece out. Can you guys see the steam off of this? The first slice. Doesn't it look awesome? Still hot. Look at it. Let me go closer. Let me go closer. See the gel on the bottom? You know, I know some people don't like bread pudding like that, but this is the only way I love bread pudding. See, so gelatinous on the bottom. Beautiful. So we're masters at bread pudding now, aren't we? I showed you, this is the third time I'm showing you bread pudding. The first one, we kind of mushed up the bread. The second one, we kind of diced it into little small dices to make the top get crusty. And this one is actually bread and butter pudding. And in the book, it's called Grandma Marie's Bread and Butter Pudding. I hope you've enjoyed making this with me. I hope it's something that you try pretty soon. If it's not for Valentine's Day, you know, try it pretty soon for one of your next potluck or something. It goes really well for potluck, especially if you can get it diced up and sliced up before you go and the pieces are ready to serve. It is an awesome, awesome treat, and I promise you, people are going to fall down over this. When I did that infomercial with Kelly Ulver, this is the thing that everybody liked. All the American people loved bread pudding. They never tasted something that tastes as gelatinous, and it's almost like a flan. It's so gorgeous. Promise you guys are going to like it. I want you guys to have a safe and happy Valentine's Day, and I want you guys to share the show for me. Continue to share the show. I'm so happy with the support that I get from you guys because you're so diligent and you're so vigilant about helping me get the word out with the Belizean food and stuff like that. I'm really, really grateful. And this is to all my viewers, not just the Belizean people, okay? I'm really appreciative. Thank you for buying the book. And we're still working on Jada's book. And then I have other recipes that I'm compiling for a new book in the future, but that's all the way in the future. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.